Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the last keynote speech of the presentation today. I'm Olivia Chen, the co-founder of Linguista, and here I have my colleague Yunju Chang with me from Seattle. Today we are going to talk about the importance of strategic localization, of course, and to cover how to break into the Chinese markets. So, it's on. So before we begin, I would like to have everyone's attention here by showing you guys the case study of Coca-Cola, because this is one of my favorite case study, and I'm gonna talk about how this commercial is awesome later on in a detailed way. Can we?
I am the future of the world. I am the hope of my nation. I am tomorrow's people. I am the new inspiration. And we've got a song to sing to you. We've got a message to bring to you. Please let there be for you and for me and tomorrow. Tomorrow, if we all can agree, there'll be sweet harmony. Tomorrow, tomorrow, and we all will be there. Coca-Cola to share, to share. Feeling so real and so true, feeling so real and so true. Promise us tomorrow, and we'll build a better world for you.
So does anyone know when this commercial was launched by Coca-Cola? Any idea? Right, it was launched in 1987 by Coca-Cola in UK. And now, before we begin, I would like to all of you guys to know a little bit more about who we are and what we do as Linguista. So Linguista is a language service provider that provides the services in 167 languages. And the services we have covered are translation, proofreading, content creation, social media management, and of course, consultancy. We have been working closely enough to with more than 50 brands in the Forex industry for the past 3 years. And today we would like to share with you how to make your brand stand out in a competitive market. So let's move on to today's agenda. Today we are going to talk about what is strategic localization and the benefits of strategic localization. Followed by that, we're going to talk about what are the things that the Asian trader is looking for before he invests his money to a platform. And for that, we're going to cover the secrets of an Asian trader and compare the good example and a bad example of localization. Lastly, we're going to talk about the differences between translation company and, of course, in-house translators. So for that, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of translation company versus in-house translators and the financial trend for translation expenses for Forex companies. So what is the strategic localization? Strategic localization refers to a text that's translated from the source language to the target language, keeping in mind of the following 3 things. Target audience, preferred keywords, and right context. When I talk about the target audience, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the end users of the platform. So for example, if you're trying to break into the target Chinese markets, are you looking at the amateur traders or experienced traders? So what is your priority? Moving on to the next point. Preferred keywords. Preferred keywords here does not refer to anything related with SEO contents. Rather, it is a list of keywords that sets your brand aside from others. That's going to make your brand more unique and preferred by the traders. So if I'm honest with you, there's too much of a deal going on for the SEO. And it's a rat race in today's markets where everything is quantified by numbers. So the best brands invest only their time and money in the right products and use SEO only as an assistance rather than a lifeline. So the last point, write the context. So the context of translation is extremely important. Whether you want to be casual or formal is determined by the way you want to position your brand. Your translation team and your customers will thank you a lot if you get the text right for your content. So now let's move on to the examples of both Company A and Company B. Company A was established as a way for binary options traders to easily invest in binary options on a platform that is easy to use, easy to understand. Our platform endeavors to make the trading process as simple and profitable as possible. Now, Company B's statement says, this provides a luxurious locale for trading binary options. Trade only defines the binary options for our unlimited liquidity pool. We offer over 100 assets to our global investors that cover over all the market segments, forex, commodities, and the indices and stocks. So the question here, based on the two company statements, which company would you choose to trade with? So any idea of you guys? Okay. So as you can see, from Company A, company statements, we can see their target audience is amateur and experienced traders alike. It should be noted that while easy-to-use platforms attract more first-time traders, that doesn't necessarily mean that experienced traders will not have any interest in investing in such platforms. Now, lastly, let's talk about the context. As you can see clearly, Company A is making an effort to make a direct connection between the traders and the company. And their efforts was to just explain why this company was established, and it's trying to explain its logic behind why it started in the first place. So in this way, Company A is clearly backing on its goodwill to establish a connection with the traders. While looking at the Company B, we can see there's no mention about how easy or tough this platform is. However, the focus is straight on business, so an experienced trader is less likely to worry about the platform. And Company B clearly comes across as a company that wants to build its reputation based on its technical grounds. So as you can see, their target audience here is experienced traders and, of course, advanced traders. So for amateur traders, a diverse portfolio doesn't mean much as they are still picking up the tricks of the trade. So some of the things that you need to keep in mind before you localize your contents are, first, try to figure out the key selling points of your products and service. So do you offer a unique trading platform, or do you offer great financial consulting? Next thing you need to keep in mind is how to figure out your target audience and how to prioritize them. So here, the question is, who is your first priority? The new traders or experienced traders? And then, do you figure out how you want to represent your brand to the target audience? Do you want to be a creative and energetic brand in front of the traders, or you just want to stay classy and reserved? So let's move on to your next agenda. Next agenda will be talking about the Asian markets. When we talk about the Asian markets here, we are loosely talking about China, Japan, and Korea. So we will look into this in a more detailed way just in a minute. But in general, what does an Asian trader look for when he is looking for invest his money in a platform? Is he looking for excellent customer service, or he's looking for how reputable this company is? So here comes the billion-dollar question. So do you think that just simply localizing your products as it is and having sales team or affiliates help you to sell your products will be good enough to make your brand stand out and be successful in the market? And at the beginning of the presentation, that you guys saw the English version of Coca-Cola commercial. Now let's move on to the next version of Coca-Cola commercial in a different language.
Tonight we have the closing party by Trade Next with lots of surprises already for us at the Tamarina restaurant.
땅의 희망찬 내일을 위해 다 함께 노래 불러요. 아름다운 내일, 기쁜 내일 위해 아름다운 내일은 진실한 마음으로 보다 나은 내일 만들어요.
Okay, let's move on to the next version of Coca-Cola that was launched in Peru.
Soy el futuro del mundo, de mi nación la esperanza, la gente del mañana, soy la inspiración temprana, trayendo este canto para ti, con este mensaje para ti, danos ya un futuro de amor, un mañana. Danos más y más armonía y amor y un mañana, solo un mundo feliz y para compartir Coca-Cola y cada país. Prométenos un mañana y construiremos un mundo mejor para ti.
So if you take a closer look at the commercial, you will notice that this commercial was shot in Peru. And so does anyone can recognize the landmark of this commercial? Yes, it's Machu Picchu. So what did we learn based on the different versions of Coca-Cola commercial? So those are the things that we need to keep in mind. First, translation is not enough. If it was that easy for a brand to just succeed in the international markets by simply translating their stuff and marketing it in another economy, anybody could do it. However, in reality, only the fraction of the companies rise to the top because of the fact that they know the cultural differences has to be accounted for. Next, see. contextual, see the difference that you saw in the advertisements for Peru and the one that you saw for UK. The one that was shot in Peru, as you can see, Coca-Cola was it was an additional effort from Coca-Cola to get closer to the hearts of the customers in Peru. In other South African Spanish versions, it's similar to the UK advertisements backdrop. And of course, you can see the willingness to go extra mile for your international customers. You can clearly see that Coca-Cola is making an effort to reach out to the hearts of the customers in different countries. And they kept in mind of the fact that they do respect the international customers' needs and attending to making the efforts to make it more appealable. So for Coca-Cola, these international customers are more than their source of income. They are human. They speak different languages, and they have different cultures, and that is exactly what Coca-Cola can differentiate themselves to others, because they are willing to go extra mile for the brand. So now let's move on to the next slide with my colleague Yunju.
Thanks, Olivia, for reminding me of the Coca-Cola ad. When I was a kid, let's grow up. I grew up observing, liking that advertisement. So I'm old enough to remember that old kind of advertisement. So as Olivia introduced, my name's Yunju Chang, and I'm from not Korea. I'm from Seattle, Washington, USA. So I'm going to talk more about Asian clients, Asian target, Asian trader. So who are the Asian traders? What kind of characteristics do they have? Any idea? Are they different from Western traders, African traders, European traders? So, all right, now let's just take a look at the English website of a certain Forex company, which is, I guess, extremely neat in design and presentation. And let's take a look at the its same website in Chinese version. Did you see any difference between two websites? Any difference in design or color? Language, of course. So what happens here for the Chinese site? As you can see, the layout is a little bit different than the original English site. Also, as you may notice, the banner page is different. There's an Asian lady as opposed to a Caucasian lady in the English site. Also, there are little differences, like a picture of lady for customer service in Chinese, as opposed to a simplistic model of a phone in the English version. So what I would like to suggest to you is just think about the differences between different market, different need, different customer, different client. So let's look at the footer of the English website. They just simply introduced the different payment methods like cash you, Skrill, and etc. And of course, the footer design is simplistic in its approach. Now just let's try to compare their footers at the English version and the Chinese version. So instead of being lazy and just putting in the same sort of stuff for the Chinese market, the company team actually took the time and effort to include the name of institutions such as Bank of China and China Merchants Bank and etc., which are trusted by, of course, Chinese population. So anyone who may not know about any this specific company will at least know this broker is somehow trustworthy and easily approachable in China. That's simply because they have the Chinese bank listed on their Chinese website. In terms of its content, of course, it's different in many places than in English website, but I guess it's all up to the industry standard. I just hope you just remember that you have to think about a new market from the scratch instead of just copying from the original website. So when we just approach a new market, new target client, we have to just try to understand their own culture, their own preferences, and what do they really like and what do they are familiar with. So this is, on the other hand, this is a bad example. The slide that I showed before is a good example of, I mean, it's a successfully done localization. On the other hand, the slide that I'm showing at this moment is a bad example of localized marketing email. So let's just take a look at it for a moment. Can anyone tell which language this is? Of course, it's Hindi, which is not my specialty, of course. So what's wrong with this? Anyone can tell? There are many errors. As you can see, let's just go over the first one all together. On the right side, on the right upper right side, we can see they want to just translate the term program, but they just mistakenly translate it as a programmer, which is kind of confusing. And this is a bad example of localization, of course. So this particular case has been marked and pointed out by the Hindi proofreading team in our company. So please note that this company operates in many different languages, and we are not criticizing anyone here, but we are only commenting on the nature of translation and content used by the brand in this particular case. Now just let's talk a little bit more about the Asian trader. So what kind of characteristic do they have? How they are different? So the first point is Asian traders they look for informational and intellectual content. So on Asian trader, they always respect content that's free of marketing gimmicks and focuses right on information and intellectual content. That is to say, an Asian trader, they usually classify it as cautious, and therefore, for the trader to use your platform or service consistently, you should just keep in mind to give him enough reason to use it in the first place. A lot of it depends on how informational and intellectually stimulating your content is for the Asian market. The second point is Asian traders they just expect to read a daily news report directly from your brand rather than just going around for 15 different sites and accumulating different news from different sites. They just wanted to like one-stop place to see all the different news. The third point, let's just think back to our Coca-Cola case study. If you need to show that you respect the Asian trader, you must make a conscious effort in localizing not just the content, but also the graphics of your website. So certain cultures prefer simplicity, like the English one, while certain cultures prefer sophistication. In this case, it means a Chinese website. So I'm gonna just combine the fourth and fifth point. The customer return rate after poor experience is genuinely much lower than that in the West. So if your service is poor, your game is over. They're not going to come back anymore. So I truly hope this humble information help you have a certain idea about venturing into the Asian market and what factors significantly affect the decision of Asian trader to choose your brand. So we are moving on to a new topic, and this is new topic and the last topic of this entire expo, maybe. So who to choose when it comes to translating your own content or your own website? So the big question again is, should you just hire a translate company like Lingua Vista, or should you just handle your translation using your in-house team members? So this whole decision is totally up to you, and we'll just move on to explain more about who the in-house translators are and who the translation companies are. So let's just compare and contrast. And see if there are any advantages and disadvantages. So who are they? Who are the in-house translator? The in-house translators are always available in your company. They might be people who work for you, who might be people who work for different marketing sector or different part of your company. So it means you don't really have to keep on running around here and there and know where to locate your translator, because they are always there, and you don't even do not have to pay for your in-house translator, because they just do it for you. Of course, it's much more economical to have an in-house translator, as you're not dedicating your entire budget for utilizing this person's translator skill. But there are also disadvantages to use in-house translators, which is you don't have any control over the quality, because they are the only people who do the translation, and there's no one who give feedback to them. So it's kind of risky. The second disadvantage is, as you might imagine, as the translation volume increases, it will become really, really difficult for the in-house translator to work, the workload. The third disadvantage is it's kind of unclear. I mean, you are at the mercy of a single person in such cases. So that's the third disadvantage. And let's just move on to the case of the translation company, like our company, Lingua Vista. There are also pros and cons. And same as in-house translator. So what is the advantage? The major advantage of choosing the right translation company is the fact that they are specialists in what they do. They know what they're doing. They're specialized in translating your content. The second one is it's really prominent and important, because one team controls your project always. They are always there. So there will be certain uniformity and consistency in the translation project when you're dealing with especially many, many languages. The third advantage of working with a translation company is that you can afford to have all the languages and media related service under one roof. So it's a one-stop service. You can just ask us and we can do all the language requirement for you. With company that you can do localization, marketing, voiceover, proofreading, consultancy, and social media, you can just streamline and process your effort accordingly. So it's convenient. But this also have some disadvantages. I mean, the decision is up to you. So I'm gonna just tell you the disadvantages of choosing a translation company rather than using your in-house translator. So the first disadvantage here is that you will have a lot of options to choose from. That means you have a lot of competition in the industry, and you have options to choose from. However, not every option will fit you, so you just choose it accordingly. So the key is the key to choose a brand like Lingua Vista, which has a certain standard and reputation in this market. And you know that this brand has been in the market for like many, many years. Actually, frankly speaking, quality comes at a cost, and then it's a trade-off decision that a brand need to make. For instance, at our company, our first priority is quality, and then money comes. We ask how to optimize the cost. You will never see us optimizing the cost before, and then thinking about how to provide good quality under limited budget. So once again, it's a good idea to think about your priorities before you choose a translation company to work with. So the bottom line is, if you are starting out as a new broker, if you're new in this market, it may be advisable to start with your in-house translator. However, when your business is starting to grow and you're picking it up and you're becoming really, really successful, it might be the right time to choose translation company instead of using your own in-house translator. Another big factor, it's all about money. Money that you put in, it really matters. So according to the finance data for the broker that we work with, we have found that the fiscal year of 2014, it really clearly indicates that successful brokers are the ones who are earning their revenue from a diverse market. To do so, you have to make the investment in translation and localization of website and marketing. 25,000 US dollar per language per 1 year for successful company is not a huge money. I mean, when you consider the payback that you will have over this investment. So in the scope of Forex industry, translation and localization usually rank less than 5% of Forex companies' annual cost. And somehow it's considered to be one of the dispensable segment when it comes to budget cost. Does it sound realistic to you? I'll just leave that to you to decide. However, one thing is for certain here, that is to penetrate a certain market. I mean, if it's like Asian market or Latin American or African market, you just need to go beyond the rigors of content and really, really understand your traders' need in the countries around the world before you deliver your service and products to them. Thank you guys so much for your patience and your time and your consideration. I would like to thank you on behalf of.
Thank you, guys, once again, and thank you, Yunju. Is this working? Okay, and we hope you walk away with lots of successful connections, and we hope we will see you again in the next expo. Thank you. So if you guys want to have any specific request, please do feel free to fill out the form in front of you, and we're gonna get back to you if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.